Hello everyone, my name is Thomas Kim. Today is 24th of January 2019. This is 27th episode about template metaprogramming. In this episode, we will implement multidimensional matrix in C++ or Dynamic Multidimensional Array. In Visual Studio Code, I create a file, talk-play-fun, matrix cpp, include IO stream, include vector, template, type name, element type, class, matrix, public, using element t, element type. We will create another data type using dimension t, std, vector, size t, then another one using array t, std, vector, element t, then private dimension t md, dimension t m array t m e. This holds for dimensions of the array or matrix. Multipliers for indexing. I will explain more about this array, the elements of the matrix. Public, we declare matrix. This is default constructor. We will make more settings here. Then we create template matrix, template, type name, dim type, type name, dim types, then matrix, dim type, dim1, dim types, dims. Now we are at this point. We will first build this matrix like this, M, D. We are assigning elements like this, static, cast, size T, dim1, static, cast, dims, size T, dims. So we assign this matrix, dimension matrix like this. Now we need to calculate multipliers. Suppose a matrix 3, 5, 5 matrix, rank is 2 and dimension d0, d1 equals 3, 5, 5. The total number of elements is 3 times 5 or d0 times d1. I hope you understand this concept. Now let's think another matrix. 3 times 5 times 7. Rank is 3. Dimension is d0, d1, d2 or 3 by 5 by 7. The total number of elements is 3 times 5 times 7 or d0 times d1 times d2. You understand this concept? Now let's try another matrix. Matrix 3 times 5 times 7 times 11. Rank is 4. Dimension is d0, d1, d2, d3 or 3, 5, 7, 11. And the total number of elements is 3 times 5 times 7 times 11 or d0 times d1 times d2 times d3. Okay, I will make it a little bit shorter, like this, and also this I arrange like this. Here too. Let's think about the two-dimensional array. I copied and pasted it here. We'll be thinking about two-dimensional array. For element, E is element, we want to access two fourth element of this matrix. This matrix, 3 by 5 matrix, we want to access two 4 element of this matrix. Then we have to calculate address like this. First, this is lowest index is 4 times 1 plus, then this index 2 times this least dimension d1. Okay, 5. We have to calculate like this. Okay, this is address of this element. Now let's try one more. E, we convert it into index I0, I1. Then in this case it becomes, I copy this part, I copied it here. 4 is the first index, this I1, so I replace it I1 like this, and this 2 is the I0 index, so I change it to I0. Okay, this 5 is this number 5, and this is D1, dimension D1, so I change it like D1 like this. Okay, this is the way we index element, calculate address of this index. Okay, now let's think about three-dimensional case. I copy this one and paste it here. Now let's think about element 2, 4, 6. Okay, then this is lowest dimension, index of dimension. So this is 6 times 1 plus, now this index 4 times this dimension d2, or I would say just 7 plus, now this index 2 times, we have to multiply 5 times 7 like this. Okay, now let's think about E, I0, I1, I2 index. We want to calculate this address. Now I copy this part, paste it here. 6 is the first index, the highest index I2, so I change it I2. Now this index 4 is the next level index I1, so I replace it I1. This index is highest, lowest index. This is actually highest index. This is I0, so I change I0 like this. Now let's think about this number 7. This is D2, so I change it D2. This is also D2. 7 is D2. Let's think about the 5. 5 is D1, so I modify like D1. Okay, so this is I0, I1, I2, D1 times D2, D2, 1 like this. Now let's think about this matrix, rank 4 matrix. I copy and paste. Now let's think about 2, 4, 6, 10th element. We calculate address of this element. Okay, these are address calculation method. We are calculating the address of this element. First we start with lowest index. This is 10. Okay, times 1 then plus the next index, this index is 6, times then this dimension 11 here, then plus then this dimension 4, this index 4 times, then we have to calculate multiply this part like this, plus then this is 2 multiply. Now we have to multiply this part. Okay, I copied like this. Now let's change it into index I0, I1, I2, I3 like this. I will arrange these, then I copy this part, I pasted. Now let's start with this one. 10 is the first indexed I3, so I modify I3. Okay, the next index, this is the next index 6, I2, and this index, this is the highest, the next level index, this is 4, I1, this index is I0. I modified like this. I will make some space for better reading. Now let's start with 11. 11 is D3, so I change D3, and this is also D3, and this is also D3. Now let's think about the 7. This is D2, so I change it to D2, and 7 is D2. Now let's think about the 5. 5 is D1, so I modified like this, D1. Okay, so this is I0, I1, I2, I3, and D1, D2, D3, D2, D3, D3, and 1. Okay, now I will collect them. So this is two-dimensional array. I copy this part here. Then this is three-dimensional array indexing. I copied again. And this is four-dimensional array. I copy again like this. I will arrange these equations a little bit like this. Okay, it looks much better now. Now this is two-dimensional case, this is three-dimensional case, this is four-dimensional case. I will copy these once again. I copied and pasted again. Now I introduce I0 times M0 plus I1 times M1. I introduced the new equation like this, and here also I0 times M0 plus I1 times M1 plus I2 times M2, and here again I0 times M0 plus I1 times M1 plus I2 times M2 plus I3 times M3. Okay, this is two-dimensional case, this is three-dimensional case, this is four-dimensional case. Please note that this M0 amounts to D1, this M0 amounts to D1 times D2, this M0 amounts to D1 times D2 times D3. Here M1 amounts to 1, M1 amounts to D2, M1 amounts to D2 times D3, M2 amounts to 1, M2 amounts to D3, M3 amounts to D1. Okay. Also note that M1 is 1, M2 is 1, M3 is 1. I copy this equation once again, copy and paste it. In this equation, I will remove I0, I1, I2, I3. I will remove them like this. I removed one, again, and again, like this. Also, I will remove I0, I1, I2, then I3, like this. And I will remove this plus 2. I rearrange like this, and here too, like this. From M3 and 1, I make equation like this. M3 equals 1, this equation. Now M2 equals D3 like this. And M1 equals D2 times D3, D2 times D3, and M0 equals D2 times D1 times D3. I copy and paste like this. In this equation, I will multiply 1 like this. Then here in this equation equal D1 times D2 times D3 is M1, right? D2 times D3 is M1. So I can let it like this, M1 here. Now D2 times D3 is M2, right? So M2 here. This is D3, so D3 times 1 is actually M3, so I can put M3 like this, and here 1. And I will copy this code once again, these equations once again. I copied and pasted it here. Now here I will let M0 equals 1 like this. This is initial state. Then instead of doing this, I can say M0, right? Now I copy this part of code once again like this. And we will remove intermediate parts. I will remove all intermediate parts like this. Removed. Also removed. Also removed. Also removed. Okay. I hope you understand this point. Then I paste it like this, a space. And here M0 equals, I copy this text, copy and paste, then enter. Then instead of doing this, I can put M0 like this. And here too, M0, and I copy this text, copy. Then here I put M0 like this. Okay. And here too, M0 equals this text here. Then I don't need to calculate anymore here. This is the end of our calculation. I put a marking here, delimiter. Also here delimiter. Also this is end of our loop. I will copy this part of code once again. I copied and paste here. Please watch carefully, okay? here in this equation, M3 is actually M0. Okay, this M0 is M3 is M0. So this equation is actually identical like this. M0 multiply D3. Okay, this equation is actually identical like this. Okay, and here also M2 is M0 here, and this is M0, new M0 becomes this is M2. M2 is actually M0, so it can be like this, okay. Here also M1 is actually M0, this is actually like this, okay. So I will restore it like this. I will rearrange the same equation like this. M0 multiply D3. Okay, and here this is the same equation, M0 multiply D2. Okay, also here M0 multiply D1. So I will copy this equation once again. I copy and paste. I finalize it. This is M0 equals 1. In this equation can be modified like this. Okay, and also this equation can be modified like this, and this equation can be modified like this. And for your reference, I will copy them like this, and I will copy this part like this, and I will also copy this part for your reference. So I save them. Now we are making it into a loop. Okay, we are making it into a loop. Outside of loop, M0, this is M0 equals 1 outside of loop. For size Tn equals, please note that this is rank. Rank is 4. This is 4-dimensional array with D0, D1, D2, D3. 4-dimensional array. Rank is 4. Okay, so it should start with 3. Rank minus 1. Okay, rank is 4 minus 1. It should start with 3 because rank is 3. 4. Rank is 4. So 4 minus 1, it becomes 3. So it is the index 3. Okay, then n should run until 1. 3, 2, 1. So n should not be 0. Okay, or we can say n should be greater than or equal to 1. We can just say n should be greater than or equal to 1. 3, 2, 1, like this. Then we decrease 3, 2, 1. We are decreasing n like this. Okay, so inside this loop, this is the loop. Okay, so mn, this means m3, then m0, like this. Then we are calculating this equation. So m0 times d3. This index is n. This is index is n. So dn, like this. This is the loop of calculating this m, values of m. If we calculate this m0, m1, m2, these are multipliers. Okay, if we calculate the m0, m1, m2, then we can calculate index like this. I will copy this part if we calculated M1, M2, M3 here, we can calculate the address like this: E, I0, I1, I2, I3. Then we can calculate M0 times I0 plus M1 times I1 plus M2 times I2 plus M3 times I3. We can calculate our index, our address like this. Okay, another thing you should note is that I will save this. Please, let's go back to this equation. Please note that this is four-dimensional array. In this case, rank is 4 and dimension is D0, D1, D2, D3. This is four-dimensional array. So M0 multiplies D1, D2, D3. So the total number of elements should be M0 times D0, or I would say D0 times M0, D0 times M0, because D0 times M0 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. Okay, so if we want to calculate the total, then we have to calculate D0 times M0. This is the total number of elements. I will copy this text. I will copy it. Then here we can calculate the total number like this. Then here D0 times, we calculated M0 at this point. At the end of this loop, M0 is calculated, so we can calculate total element like this. With this information, we will code.